Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Board Games Maelstrom. I'm going to try something new going forward with the Board Games Maelstrom. I am going to be spending more time with each game. Let me take these off because I don't really need them, but just to read or paint. I'm going to start off the different stuff with a new series about how to paint. Now, I'm not an expert painter by any means. I've been painting for quite a while now. I think I've gotten better over the years. I think maybe I have something to share with those who may need some help. And the first thing we're going to do in this is we're going to take a look at some of the accessories and things that I use to paint. Let you know that this stuff has been accumulated over years and years. I didn't just buy all this stuff, and paint is very expensive. So when you're first starting out, you can start with anything from the Walmart acrylic colors to the more expensive hobby paints like Citadel and Army Painter. But I'm going to take you across some of the stuff that I've acquired that I use in my painting. My painting room's a bit of a mess, so please forgive that. And so let's take a look at some of the stuff I use. Okay. All right. First of all, I was able to get this painting rack from a local game store who was no longer going to be carrying P3. So I got a really good deal on the rest of the P3 paints he had, so I have a ton of these. And those are washes, inks, bases, everything that P3 had in that line. I don't have every single color, but pretty darn close. And I'm going to come over here and we're going to look at all my Citadel paints that I have, and these are on wooden racks that I believe I purchased off a site, and I have 2 of those full of Citadel paints. And then I have the Army Painter, and this includes airbrush paints. This also includes, let me get a little bit more light over here. This also includes regular Army Painter. This includes some of the cheaper Walmart stuff there in the back. Lots of stuff that you can use. I mean, you can paint with just about anything. And you can make it look decent. So, you know, don't feel bad about that. So now I'm going to move over to, these are all my Citadel, what do they call them? There's some shades on here, and then the contrast paints. I got most of my shades up here, and then I have contrast paints on this side. Other tools I use to paint, I have some more stuff over here, and we're going to turn our light so that it's not so dark over here. And in this I have some more airbrush paints. I have my model glue. I have different airbrush colors, different glues. I have all kinds of paintbrushes and things over here. I have a ton of stuff. My sprue clippers, as you just saw over there. Paint thinner for when I don't feel I should be using water. Something to keep me awake. That would be the old Monster Pipeline Punch, stuff I really shouldn't be drinking. I have some well-used paint wells, and I also have my wet palette here. Because I'm old, I use these things to paint like really tiny close-up things. So I need a belt. I need to change the thing so the light works a little better. See, it's kind of fading. And I do use these Citadel miniature holders, and there are 2 sizes with those. There are those smaller ones, and then there's the bigger ones for holding bigger miniatures, and you can see they're well used as well. This is all the kind of stuff you can buy. Not necessarily all of it you need to get started. You could get started with a paintbrush and some paint and some water. Speaking of water, I do have this I purchased somewhere at some point in time that holds water, and I can clean my paintbrushes off in it. and it's, like I said, everything's nice and well used. So I was going to get started on some miniatures that I've primed. This is from Bloodborne, the board game pledge that my Blood Moon pledge that just came in. So this is these are some interesting figures. They really are. And there we go. My lighting in here is not the greatest. I probably need to get a better source of light. But I'm going to do some painting videos, some how-tos, and this is just a start. Also, here's my Iwata airbrush, and this is the thing that I spray into to clean out the airbrush itself. I have all kinds of paints everywhere. I have primers that I use to prime minis, spray can, and I also prime with the airbrush. Lots of different things, lots of stuff to help and get things going. So, but basically all you need is a paintbrush, some acrylic paints, even down to just some cheap Walmart metallics. That'll work. Or you can purchase Citadel or Army Painter or P3 or whatever paint you like. I do have a ton of the cheap paints up here too, though. So it's not like that's the only thing I use. So, but this has just been a little bit of an overview of the stuff that I use and my painting area, which is way too messy. But I'm going to be showing a few techniques and stuff and how to paint a mini. Just the basics. How to paint something and make it look good enough to play on the table. Like I said, I'm no expert. I have painted lots of stuff. Some of the later stuff that I'm working on right now is, this is Thor from the Marvel Crisis Protocol. Ugh, it doesn't want to focus. And this is something I'm working on with him. Just good enough to make it look good on the table while you're playing. Man, it's hard to get this thing to focus. Let me see if I can set her up here and then use the lens to focus in and out until we get a good picture here. I don't know if I have my close lens on or not, but that is the Wasp, and she is jumping off of a single die that's in the rubble. And like I said, I still got some touch-ups to do on those things, but I will show you how I do what I do, whether you like it or not, whether you've been painting for years or just beginning. Heck, if you have some suggestions, put them in the comments. Maybe I can learn something from you. But this is just the basics. This is the stuff that I use. Many paintbrushes, from nice ones to cheap plastic ones. All kinds of stuff that I use. Man, I wish I could get this thing to focus better. I mean, there's probably the best focus, but that's far away. There we go. There's the Wasp and Thor. Got Venom in the background over there. But just a little bit so you guys can see what I look at, what I go through, things that I use, how I do it. My painting station is merely a box that I've put some blue tack under the models to hold it onto the box while and now I'm trying to one-hand this and get this off. The blue tack kind of sticks, but it'll come off. It's pretty easy to come off. But this is one of the Bloodborne miniatures. They're pretty nice, pretty creepy looking. And there's different ones. There's another one. This dude. But I just prime these so I can begin painting them after I figure out what color scheme I want to use with them. I know Bloodborne is quite a dark game, so we'll see about that. I'm not much for dark painting, but here's a giant spider. That's pretty damn creepy, especially since I hate spiders. And then we have, and now the blue tack won't come off of this. There we go. Now we have whatever this crocodile looking thing is. There it is. Pretty creepy. Gonna have to get some different tones in there to make him look all the much better. But yep, I will go over exactly what you do when you paint a mini. We'll start out with something small, and I'll be making these episodes hopefully more often than I don't. Pay no attention to my Comic-Con pictures with people in the background. More often than I don't. And I will show you how the techniques that you need to get something good enough to go on the table. But until next time, thanks for stopping by the Board Games Maelstrom.